Welcome back, everybody. This is Bob Calvert, TalkingWithHeroes.com talk show program, and thank you for your service. .us online news site, and Anna is behind the camera filming, and we're still here. We're with the 3rd Brigade Special Troops Battalion from Fort Benning, and we're in Kalsu, Iraq. And but before we get started here, I want to mention again, I want to thank our sponsors, the people that made it possible for us to be able to be here. Blackhawk.com, Newsplace.com, MilitaryConnection.com, FreedomHunters.org, LauraBurgess.com, the number 5Jump.com, SoldiersAngels.org, and BroadbandForAmerica.com. You get a chance, go to the websites. It'd be great if you could send them an email and thank them for helping make this possible. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to be talking about this vehicle that we're going to have on film here shortly. Okay, we're here with 1st Lieutenant Dustin Mason. We'll be hearing more from 1st Lieutenant Mason in a little while. But sir, if you could just explain to our people that are watching what we're seeing.
Yes, this is the MRAP egress trainer, or the MET as it's become known here in Iraq. What this piece of equipment is utilized to do is to help minimize risk to soldiers injured in rollovers, vehicle rollovers specifically involving the MRAP. The vehicle is built to perfectly simulate a Cayman or Max Pro MRAP in order to just train us up on actions to take upon rollover. It assists us with building accurate load plans, proper belting, things like that, gunner restraint systems, and then how to actually safely evacuate the vehicle, hence the egress point.
Okay, and standing next to you is Jeffrey Peters. He is the MET trainer, the rollover trainer, and also a veteran. So I want to welcome you, Jeffrey, to Talking with Heroes. If you can pass the mic over.
Oh, definitely.
Thank you, sir.
If you could just share with our listeners a little bit about yourself, and talk maybe if you want a little about your military career and how you ended up here and where you're from.
Yes, sir. My name is Jeffrey Peters. I'm a veteran. I was down here for 16 months with the 1st Armored Division back in 2003, 2004. And then I became a contractor shortly after I retired and came down here and just took over the MET trainer about 6 months ago. These are the type of vehicles that I wish that we had. We didn't have these when I came down here in 2003, 2004, so I really know the importance of them, and I stress that to the soldier. It's been a very rewarding with the soldiers, and for them to come back and tell me stories about how that they have trust in their seat belts in case of a rollover. When they really get in here, when they get turned upside down, and they have to have help getting out of their seat belts, and they get out, and you can really see it on their faces that they really have the trust and the confidence in the seat belt system. Yes, sir.
How long did you serve in the military?
I did 23 years, sir.
Okay, great. Thank
23
you for your
years.
service.
23 good years. I really enjoyed it.
Good. Okay, so what you're going to do now is we're going to actually see this in operation, right?
Yes, sir.
We'll get this as much as we can on film here.
Yes, sir.
So
Please.
you're going to close the door first?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and where would be the best place for me to go? Inside?
Inside, sir?
On the side?
On the side.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll follow you so you can talk.
And then,
One of you can talk and explain what's going on, okay?
okay, I'm gonna.
All right.
Here. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and walk. All right, for many of you, you're probably wondering what an MRAP actually is. Like most things in the military, it's an acronym. MRAP stands for Mine Resistant Ambush Protected Vehicle. It's a very large vehicle, therefore it is subject to rollover. And again, what this vehicle does is helps train us up in case of what the worst happens and we do rollover. As you can see, Mr. Pete here is dealing with our gunner restraint system. The gunner restraint system is utilized for any gunner in the turret. Since you obviously can't build a seatbelt for a guy standing up hanging halfway out of the truck, the gunner restraint system came into play. What this does in the event of a rollover, restrains the gunner, pulls him down to the base plate, and assists in holding him while the vehicle's tumbling so he doesn't get ejected from the vehicle. It's been a very great safety innovation and saved a lot of lives, has it not, Pete?
Yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir.
All right. Amongst other things, what this helps us do is we actually build almost a battle drill on how to get out of the MRAP if it rolls over based off this thing. We take things into mind such as if it's a 180-degree rollover, i.e. the MRAP is on its side, what actions to take. For instance, the guy above you will wait until the guy below him gets up and gets out of his seatbelt, if possible, before he drops down, so your buddy isn't falling down on you with 80 pounds of gear plus his body weight. So this device right here is actually a great improvement over where we started. Rollovers used to really take a toll on soldiers due to soldiers not wearing seat belts, a load plan not being enforced, i.e. just your ammo, food, things like that flopping around, functioning as projectiles, hurting people. And this just helps build on all those TTPs and SOPs we utilize to keep us safe while driving. So if you'd like to zoom in, you'll see the vehicle in motion, and we have a few fake ammo cans back there just to give you an idea of what it would be like to be in there.
Ready, sir?
I'm ready when you are.
All clear. All right, sir. When we roll them, we're watching the monitors to make sure that everything is okay. We've got, for your emergency stops, we can see if they're engaged or not. Sometimes the ammo cans, the foam rubber ammo cans hit them, and it stops the vehicle in its tracks. Okay, we let them know that if it is engaged, to disengage it after we assess the situation to make sure that there's nothing, a real world situation that has happened. I'm going to go ahead and roll it now. You can see we got the front two monitors. This is up front, the driver and TC, and then the rear ones. Giving them a 360. This would be for the first roll. It's just to refamiliarize themselves and get themselves confident in their seatbelts. All right. At this point in time, then I would announce on the mic. TC, give me a thumbs up when everyone's ready to roll again. Ensure that all safety harnesses and seat belts have been readjusted. At that point in time, then they'd come back with the. I'd wait for the TC to give me a thumbs up, and he would tell me that everybody's ready, and then we'd roll them into a 180 or a 90. Okay. We roll them into the 180 first or the 90. I do not tell them what is going to happen. If they are rolled into a 180, they will come out the driver and TC doors. If we roll them at a 90, the vehicle's on its side, and they will come out the gunner's hatch. Okay? It's very imperative that we let them know that if they're at a 90, it means half the crew's upside down, half the crew's hanging upside down, and the other crew is laying on their backs. We tell them to make sure that the guys on the bottom get out before the guys on the top. Okay? If the guys on the top get out before the guys on the bottom, it's bone crushing. Okay? If they are upside down at the 180, then the first guy out will help out the other ones that are inside the vehicle. Okay? They will brace themselves, and then you have to adjust to be able to get your seatbelt disconnected. We also have a quick release in the back, so they can also release it from that point. And then the last person out of the vehicle, once they start evacuating, the last person out of the vehicle has to account for everybody. They pull the 360 security, and the vehicle, usually it's the vehicle commander that accounts for them all. Sometimes you get people like Lieutenant Mason that's down here with me as an OIC, and he will announce on the mic, the vehicle's on fire, or vehicle's underwater, or taking on water, and what have you, and then it kind of speeds up the process for them and teaches them to be a little bit quicker, but yet have safety in mind at the same time.
And now, if I backed up a little bit, can I see it actually rolling?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me do that this time, and I'll come back and look at the screen again. See if I can.
Okay, now I'm gonna take them to a 180, which I'm gonna put them upside down. Right now they'd be at their 180. They're upside down. I tell them you can begin your egress, and then the safeties, along with myself, we come up. We open up the outer latch, I should say. Now, from this point, it's up to the individual inside the vehicle. They have to unlock the combat lock that's inside the vehicle. Okay? Now, this is really helpful when they're upside down, because it really teaches them that things work in reverse when you're upside down. Okay, I can't help them out. There has been times when I first took over that sometimes people were there saying, I can't get out, it's locked, I can't get out. And I said, okay, it's reverse. You push up instead of pulling down. And then once they do that, then they will push the door open. And these doors are quite heavy, so and the soldiers know. They've got to really push on them and open them up.
Can we see what it looks like inside upside down?
I'll roll without here, I'll roll without here.
Okay. And
Okay.
yeah, so you can imagine when they're upside down,
Right.
that the individual, they're bracing their hands here.
Yeah. Plus
But-
they have all the weight, the body armor, the Kevlar, their
Yes, sir.
ammunition, and everything else they have on them.
And the driver and the TC also have the shared responsibility that they've also got to keep the gunner in place. Okay, they've got to hold him by reaching around, grabbing, without twisting his legs and breaking his legs, and they've got to hold him down. So once they're upside down, you can imagine that these guys are doing the handstand, if you will, and then undoing their belt, getting loose, and then they're helping their fellow soldiers out. Yes, sir.
Are you going to turn it back over?
Yes, sir. I can
Yeah,
do
I'm
that.
going to try to get real close to the screen this time.
I can do the 90-degree when they're coming up the center hatch.
I hate the 90 degree.
Which screen should I focus my attention on to get closest?
These two on the front. These are clearer than these two, than these four.
There we go.
All right, sir. At this point, they're ended up at a 90 degree. They're going to be coming out the gunner's hatch. You can begin your egress. And the only thing that we do as a safety crew outside is open up. And then, as you can see, what I was talking about earlier, that those guys are hanging from the top. So these guys have to get out first. So they will get out, and then if they need to assist, they will assist.
Oh, wow.
And then something else you probably took notice of is your foam rubber ammo cans. Okay, as they're we put them in there just to simulate not tying down, properly tying down your equipment. And I've actually had people, some of the soldiers, that have actually been hit in the head. And I said, well, it teaches you, don't it? And they were like, yes.
I can confirm that.
Yeah, that seat over there is on the side.
Right there, sir?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Uh-huh. That is the TC, and then the drivers are up top. So you, at that angle, and you can imagine that when I was saying about Lieutenant Mason is the OIC, and he puts on the mic and says, hey, the vehicle is starting to smoke. You can imagine the panic. Then they really learned. I've really noticed that they've really learned the third of the third. They've done a real good job of helping each other out using the buddy system. I really am very impressed about that. The thing that I really love about teaching these soldiers and bringing them through here is not only has it been just for their safety out here as soldiers, but some of them have came back and told me that they're taking this back home to their families and the value of the seat belts. And that's priceless to me. That's just priceless, and it's wonderful that they can go back there and their children and their wives, and it's very nice that they bring that safety back home. Yes, sir.
Well, thank you very much for sharing this with everybody that watches. I want to do something now. I do with all the troops. If you can pass the mic over, Mason, Lieutenant Mason. Would you like to give a shout out to family and friends back home?
Yes, I would. Hello to my lovely wife, Zigrun, back in Germany with my boys. I love you guys a lot, and hopefully I'll be home for Christmas. I have fingers crossed. All right, I love you.
Thank you. Thank you for your service to our country.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, folks, you've seen it here on TalkingWithHeroes.com. And we'll be talking more with Lieutenant Mason here shortly, finding out a little bit about him. And you'll probably all find out where he's from, but you can tell from his southern accent he is from the South. We'll find out more about him shortly. So we're here on TalkingWithHeroes.com, Kalsu, Iraq. We'll be back with more on TalkingWithHeroes.com. And thank you very much, and please let others know about these videos so millions of people can watch.